Sorry, I'm rambling. I just get so excited. Beans. I will say beans 18 times in the next 7 minutes. My name is Alison Roman, and I'm here today to talk to you about my favorite thing in the world, which are beans. I feel like some people love to buy like a hat or a shirt or, you know, a whatever souvenir and wherever they go, but I like to bring back beans. I've brought back beans from most countries that I visited. It is truly one of my greatest joys. 17, 18, 19. At least 19 types of beans in this pantry right now. Oop, that's popcorn. All right, that's not a bean. Beans to me are like the thing that I will always cook, especially if I'm feeling anxious, because it's like a pot of something I can throw on, and I can season them with pretty much whatever I have on hand. There's really no limit on how you can cook beans, but I'm gonna show you just like a very basic, which happens to be vegan, method to cook these beans. And then I'm gonna show you one of my favorite things to do with them, which is to spoon them and the broth over some like really thick olive oil toast with an egg and some greens. It's gonna be great. You may notice that these beans are in a jar. They are dried. I have not soaked them. I will not be soaking them. This is my hill to die on. If you soak them, your beans will be great. They'll be perfect. They'll be wonderful. If you don't soak them, your beans will be perfect. They'll be great. They'll be wonderful. The time that you're saving by soaking them a day ahead that's 24 hours. So if they take like an hour longer to cook now, you've still saved more time by not soaking them. Soak if you want, don't soak if you don't. But moving forward, this recipe sort of remains the same, whether or not you've soaked your beans or not, but these beans will never be soaked. So this is sort of like a basic sample of what's always in my kitchen. I always have garlic, I always have lemons, and I always have onion or shallot, but probably both. And then if you have any sort of like hearty, spriggy herb, this is like very sad marjoram, but it's gonna be happy when I put it in that pot with those beans. I like to have everything through the root like that, keeping the paper on, so that way they will be much easier to fish out later. I like my beans very lemony, and with that comes the acidity and the bitterness that you have in a lemon, because we're gonna use the whole fruit. If you're sensitive to those flavors, especially bitterness, maybe stick with a half or skip it altogether. Beans, alliums, lemon, herbs. I may throw in some chilies. Why not? You're gonna put more olive oil than you think is necessary. I'm gonna put some now, and then I'm gonna put some later as they simmer, and I'm probably gonna add more when they're finished. Ow, it bit me. You're gonna go and cut side down. The herbs and the chili flake I'm gonna add later because those don't need to see any heat. They're not gonna get seared for any reason. Probably cook that for like 2 to 3 minutes. Maybe rotate some of those onions so they get color on both sides. There's no real wrong way to do this, and you can't really mess these up at this point. Again, I'm gonna stress that this is not the only way to cook beans. This is just how I cook beans. I do them in the stovetop, although I also love to do them in the oven. We call those oven beans. You know, ask me in a year, I might have a different bean method. Who could say? We could do beans part 2. I'm gonna add about half this jar, which is about 2 cups. Yeah, I'm adding, this is 24. This is 3 cups. I'll probably add another 3 cups. To me, beans are also a process, and like I said, each bean kind of needs its own water amount, and depending on the pot you're using, depending on how rapidly you're boiling them, you may find yourself adding more water throughout the cooking process, which is totally cool. I'm confident that I'll probably need to add a little bit more water, but I like to start with less. One thing you do want to do is you want to highly season the water now. Not so much like pasta water, because it is going to reduce, and then you'll end up with too salty of a bean. Something that I have experienced more times than I could possibly count. But I feel like I'm getting out of breath. I'm getting so excited about these beans. Once we get it to a boil, I'm gonna turn it down. You're gonna simmer these for at least 2 hours, and I would say at the hour mark, like, you don't ever want to see a bean not submerged in your liquid. So if it looks like there's an hour left and the liquid level is getting dangerously low to the bean, you'd wanna add a little bit more liquid. There's so many bean myths. There's like things that people say you always have to do or that you never should do. People always will say, don't ever boil a bean. It really depends on the bean. Some beans can take it, some beans can't take it. Salting, some people will say, don't ever salt your beans because it toughens up the skin. I've never had that happen to me. People will be like, oh, add baking soda to the water, it'll soften the exterior of the bean. Maybe it does. I've never had to do that. If you're simmering for a bean, if you're simmering for a bean, If you are simmering a bean and after 3 hours it's not done, throw those beans away. They are not cooking. And I have done that. I have simmered beans in vain for like 6 hours because I brought them back from some trip I went on and refused to cook them for 3 years. Don't do that. If you bring your beans back from a trip, cook them. Cook them now. Yeah, listen to your body. If your body doesn't like beans, if it doesn't agree, then simply don't eat them. Okay, we are boiling. They're all floating. How cute. And then I'm just gonna turn it down to low. And I'm gonna ignore these for at least an hour and a half, but probably 2. That's a lie. I definitely will come and check in on them because I am an overbearing bean mother. Do you wanna get this moment where I talk about my bean stamps? Please mark this day as the last public day that I'm ever allowed to talk about beans again. RIP me talking about beans publicly. The word is losing meaning, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, I'm gonna take this and not look at my phone. I'll see you in an hour and a half to 2 hours. Hello, welcome back to my bean show. These beans have been going for 2.5-ish hours. I'm gonna turn it down all the way. I'm gonna eat the beans with some eggs. That's why those are boiling over there. And the best way to tell if they're done or not, obviously, is to eat one. It's like pasta. When you taste a pasta and it's not cooked yet, you know when it needs more time in the water. Same thing with your beans. If you're at all concerned, like they feel a little hard still, keep simmering them. Add more water if you need to. But these are done. As for the rest of the ingredients, you really can use whatever is in your fridge, but spinach, kale, mustard greens, Swiss chard. It doesn't even have to be greens. I have this bunch of dandelion greens that I got at the market. This is just like a classic crusty loaf of bread. I actually dug my hand into it earlier by accident, but it's fine. Anyway, like an inch thick-ish. There was like no faster way for me to like get my heart rate up than slicing a piece of bread. Oh, shit, that's why I didn't do that before. All right. Why is this so hard? I'm really struggling. I'm gonna cut it from this side because that side is damaged. I did it. Piece of bread. Look how easy that was. Just kidding. All right, we have beans, we have greens, we have toast. We're gonna have toast. I'm gonna make it right now. You can make toast in a toaster or you can make it in a skillet. One of the luxuries of living alone is that you can make toast however you want. And I do have a toaster, and sometimes I find it useful, but olive oil toast to me is such a different beast. It's not even really toast, it's like fried bread. As for the greens, you just kind of want to make sure that you're taking off any super like egregiously thick stems. I'm just gonna kind of rip them with my hands. That looks awesome to me, and I really want to eat that already. And I'm just gonna wilt some of these real quick in the same oil. I'm gonna stand back because it's gonna splatter. And then I'm gonna add these beans. That tastes so good. That tastes so, so good. It's already really bright with lemon. It already has like heat from chili. It's perfectly salted. I feel like I couldn't ask for a better bean. So I'm just gonna spoon the beans themselves over the toast and then pour some of that liquid over it. They should be like more or less swimming in it, and you should see like a noticeable pool of the bean liquid at the bottom. I put parsley on probably everything. This is no exception. And then if you wanted, which I do want, to put cheese on it, I'm gonna do that too. And then basically just finish it with more olive oil. Beans really like olive oil. I'm ready for beans. I'm ready for wine. It is nighttime, so that's what's gonna happen. So thank you for coming to my bean talk. I hope that I've convinced you to buy a bag of dried beans, even if it's just like regular beans from the grocery store. I do cook with those all the time and they're fantastic. And if the fire is ignited within and you decide that you just must explore the world of heirloom beans, then you can do that too. I'm not a hiker or like a hunter or a outdoorsy person necessarily, but this to me would be like what I would eat if I were. Like I feel like this will keep me full for many hours. I'm gonna drink this wine, I'm gonna eat these beans, and then I'm gonna have beans for every meal over the next 17 days. I'm just kidding. I'm probably gonna give some of these beans away because like I said, I think beans make a cool gift. So cool. This bean is called a good mother Stallard. Wow.